Hi Forex traders, so this is post-trade commentary for the commentary I dropped earlier today on the dollar, euro USD and gold. If you haven't watched the commentary I did this morning, I need you to go to my previous video, just the recent video before this video, and you need to check exactly my forecast for the dollar and foreign currency and also the gold asset before you come here to watch this very video. Earlier this morning, we forecasted that the dollar was going to go bearish and we were going to buy the euro USD because we anticipated that the dollar was going to trade bearish. So I want to show you exactly what we outlined on the dollar index. First, I need you to check the daily time frame. What we outlined on the daily time frame was that we've seen the dollar traded into the weekly fair value gap, just like we've outlined here. We've seen the dollar traded into that weekly fair value, and we were, anticipating the dollar was going to attack the next strong liquidity, that old low there, and the relative equal lows by the left. Then when you go to the daily time frame, we saw the dollar traded into yesterday's opening gap between Friday and Monday. That opening gap, price traded into that today, taking out yesterday's high to form the high of the week. And look at today, it's Tuesday. When you confluence the weekly market profile, of course, the weekly market profile teaches that we anticipate to see price action create high of the week in a bearish week. Most of the times on Tuesdays, or most times between Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, price will create the high of the week and distribute into the week between that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and create reversals, midweek reversals, most times on Thursdays or the Friday New York session. So having put that to consideration, we saw the dollar taking out yesterday's high and trading into that opening gap. I actually knew that that was going to sponsor a bearish price leg for today's price action. So on the 1 hour time frame, we were looking at price action trading into yesterday's or the previous week price range. So we've seen the dollar actually created a shifting market structure last week after taking out the buy side liquidity pool here and trading into the rejection block. We saw the dollar on that Friday created shifting market structure bearish and created a structural liquidity there. So today being Tuesday, price action took out that high to form the high of the week and had traded into that bearish order block right there. All right, then price created a shifting market structure bearish. And earlier this morning, I clearly mentioned that we want to see the dollar trade back into the bearish order block right there, right at the bearish breaker. So confluence of the breaker and the bearish order block, large buy candle that was traded through by consecutive sell candles. Most of you were expecting the dollar was going to trade into that fair value, but no. If the dollar had traded into this fair value, I'll be in doubt to sell the dollar. All right, so if the dollar was bearish, I would need it to resist that fair value gap and respect the breaker and the bearish order block right there. And of course, the dollar traded into that level. That was exactly where the point where we wanted to start buying buying euro USD, because we've seen the dollar traded into that level, and the drawn liquidity, the first drawn liquidity was exactly that low there, and we're still looking at this guy trading into the low resistant liquidity run right there, and also the bullish mitigation block there and the low resistance liquidity run. All these levels, we want to see the dollar trade into that level. So as this was happening on the dollar, we were buying euro USD, and I even dropped the buy call in the mentorship community, specifically the one-on-one mentorship community. I dropped the call for the euro USD buy, and a lot of us actually made money today from this very trade. So this is the euro USD trade. You've seen this guy as well after creating that shifting market structure bullish. You've seen the same thing that happened on the dollar. The opposite happened on the euro dollar, because they have an opposite relationship. If the dollar is selling, euro USD is going to be buying. So the euro USD created shifting market structure bullish here and created structural liquidity right there. So cut that liquidity, created shifting market structure bullish. We wanted to see this guy trade into that bullish order block right there. Okay, so immediately price traded into the order block there. That was the buy call for me on the euro dollar, and this guy delivered almost about 1:3 or 1:4. You know, we had this disagreement with some students who said, I was waiting to see this guy trade into this fair value gap before I take the buy, but I said no. I was interested in buying at this point, but my stop loss was exactly below the low of this fair value gap, just in case. And draw liquidity, of course, is first take profit or take partial is going to be this, the next is that, and also the relative highs right there. Then I also gave a trade call on gold. Check the previous commentary, you'd see my call on gold. We had an analysis earlier this morning during the London session, and I clearly mentioned that gold is bullish because we've seen gold traded into that internal range fair value gap right there with an old high in between, and gold created our confirmatory signature, that swing low with the middle candle having the lowest low. Immediately price took out the high of the third candle. That was the buy for me on gold. I actually even bought gold as well. I bought gold. I took only these two trades and I bought gold right there. Stop loss below the low of the third candle, and gold delivered also about 1:4 today. So today is actually a very good trading day for all the students in the mentorship community. Let me show you how the mentorship community looks like. So this is the mentorship group. This is me asking my students, how many of you took the EU or gold buy, because EU was delivering at the time, and I was thrilled to see some of the responses from the students. A lot of them actually took the buy trade on EU, and some of them even on gold. So it's a win-win for everyone at the mentorship community. If this is what you're looking for close mentorship, just make sure you click the link on the description of the video, send me a DM, let's sign you up on the mentorship community. Until next time, I wish you good luck, good trading.